Yo, we were thinking about going to this pizza joint tonight. You want to join?
I'm actually lactose intolerant.
Ooh, yeah, I know how that is. My mom is too. But we could go someplace else, maybe the Boiling Crab.
I'm actually allergic to seafood.
Okay, no worries, no worries. To each his own or hers. What about Steak Shack?
Okay, actually, I'm vegan.
Why does every vegan gotta make their whole existence about not eating meat? Like, did cutting out steak make you lose your personality? Vegans are so arrogant and passive aggressive. It's just cringe. You always have to shove your vegan garbage down my throat. How do you know when somebody's a vegan? Oh, don't worry. They're gonna tell you. Did you know you actually save more animals by eating meat? If you care so much about the animals, then why are you using a cell phone? You can't get protein from plants. You would have to eat like 6 million peas to get the same protein from eating a piece of chicken. Plant protein and animal protein ain't even the same. Check the science. It's like scientifically different. How would you like it if I forced you to eat meat? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna eat twice as many steaks now to cancel out everything you're doing as a vegan.
I wish I could say that that was a joke. But the truth is, if you tell someone that you're trying to lose weight and build muscle while eating plant-based, most of them will ask you, but where will you get the protein? And others will tell you that you're making it twice as hard on yourself. And that's because there's this idea that plant proteins are second class, that they are incomplete, that they are harder to absorb, or they are just plain less effective at burning fat and building muscle when compared to animal proteins such as, that piece of chicken or beef. As a result, we have been conditioned to believe that if we really want real results when it comes to weight loss, you need to eat animal protein. But is there actually a penalty when it comes to eating plant proteins when it comes to weight loss? Or have we been overcomplicating our plates for years? Today we are digging into the dirt, or rather the earth, to see if eating plant protein is actually holding you back, or it might actually be the secret weapon that you have been missing in your weight loss journey. Welcome back, I'm Daisy, aka D, and we are continuing with our mission to debunk the weight loss myths that are keeping us stuck in the yo-yo cycle, which is also known as the dieting cycle. Our myth today is a classic, and that is plant-based protein is less effective for weight loss when compared to animal protein. As someone who is mainly plant-based, but who was an avid meat eater for very many years, even during my weight loss journey and even after my weight loss journey, I have seen this argument from both sides. I have eaten the meat, I have eaten the plants, and I have eaten both. And through my Better in 90 program, which is behind this entire series, and where I help women find sustainable ways to eat, I often see women who are terrified that if they swap out their chicken for tofu or for lentils, then that will stall their weight loss progress. So given that context, let's look into why people think that plants are weaker, second class, when it comes to protein, and what the science actually says about this and your metabolism. Have you ever heard that plant proteins are incomplete? If you look at the fitness and the weight loss circles, it does not take long to realize that most of these influencers and personas are pro-animal protein, and they're not really that into plant protein as a source of protein. And this usually comes down to the incomplete protein argument, which you have probably heard about. You have probably heard that plants lack certain amino acids, which are the building blocks of muscle. And that is why many people think that if they are eating a plant-based diet, then they're doing themselves a disservice when it comes to weight loss. But here's the reality. While some plants do actually have lower levels of some amino acids, your body does not calculate amino acids on a per day or per meal basis. Instead, it looks at protein in terms of the long game. As long as you keep eating a wide variety of plants, which include options like beans, grains, nuts, and seeds, then your body pulls all of these nutrients together and also the amino acids from these foods. And according to science, as long as you're getting enough total protein, then it does not matter where you're getting it. You will still get to enjoy fat loss and more. And to show you exactly how this works, I link several articles below, which will lead you to some of the studies that show how this works in your body. Secondly, let's talk about fiber. And here we will talk about something that plagues people who follow mainly animal-based diets. And yes, that's the lack of fiber. When people compare a bowl of chicken to a bowl of black beans, they usually look at these foods only in terms of calories and protein, but they miss a key component of weight loss, which is fiber. The thing is that animal protein has zero fiber. Plant protein, on the other hand, comes packaged with complex carbs and fiber. But why does this matter? First, there is the satiety factor. Fiber slows down your digestion and keeps you feeling fuller for longer compared to just eating protein. And yes, Protein also keeps you fuller for longer because it takes a long time to digest. Now, if you pair that with fiber, then your food is not just taking longer to digest, but even the digestion time has been slowed down again by the fiber. Secondly, we have the caloric density. Because plant proteins are often high in volume, but lower in caloric density, you can eat a larger portion for fewer calories, and for volume eaters, this is a really good thing. I'm a volume eater, so this is a really good thing for me. So if you're struggling with hunger on your weight loss journey, eating plant protein might actually make your deficit easier to achieve than eating an all meat or mostly animal protein based diet. And that it's always the calories. Just like I said in my video about red meat, which if you missed, you can check it out in my weight loss meat series, and my video about high protein diets, and all my videos ever since I started this series. The scale cares about your energy balance. And that means whether you're eating eggs and red meat or having lentils and black beans, your weight loss will come down to whether you are in a calorie deficit. It really is that simple. Calories in versus calories out. Of course, there are nuances as we have discussed in the previous videos, but when it comes down to it, it is, are you in a calorie deficit? Then yes, you will lose weight if you are in one, or you'll not lose weight if you're not in one. Math. As such, we can conclude that plant protein is not less effective for weight loss. And in many cases, it actually helps because with the added fiber, staying in a calorie deficit is actually much more sustainable. Given that plants have a lot to add to any weight loss journey, knowing how to incorporate them into your diet is very important. Here, I will use 3 strategies that I use in my program Better in 90, where the goal is to focus on being strategic rather than restricting yourself. And here's how you can do it while avoiding the bloat. Don't fear the carbs. Most plant proteins, including the favorites like beans, lentils, and quinoa, are high in carbs. But just like I said in one of my very first videos on this series, carbs are not bad for you even when you're on a weight loss journey. If anything, they give you the fuel that you need to get through your workouts and other parts of your day. Of course, the type of carb matters, and it is best to focus on complex carbohydrates. So, as you add more plants to your diet, do not let the fact that they happen to have carbs get in the way. Instead, you can use this as your opportunity to explore more complex carbohydrates and see what else they can offer to you, because food is not just about calories. It's also about the nutrients that you get from it. And carbs are your friend, not their enemy. Secondly, it's very important to pair your plant proteins. Much of the fear around plant proteins lies in their amino acid profiles. Like I said, people think that they are incomplete because some plants are very low in some specific amino acids. To add to these, very few plants are considered to be complete proteins. So to ensure that you are getting a full amino acid profile and staying full, you need to do some pairing, but this is where it gets fun. For example, you can pair your legumes with a whole grain or some healthy fats. And this can look like black beans with rice and a little avocado, or lentils with a bowl of brown rice which has been dressed with tahini. I like tahini, so yes, add some tahini in there. Finally, you need to avoid the vegan junk food trap. Just because a food is plant-based or vegan does not mean that it is low in calories. It just means that it's plant-based or vegan. But people don't always know this. People tend to conflate plant-based and vegan foods with healthy foods or low-calorie foods. I have seen people thinking that eating plants will automatically result in weight loss. And that's because they have seen people who are vegans or people on plant-based diets who happen to be lean. But that's not always the case. Not everyone who's a vegan or on a plant-based diet will be, smaller in stature. There are many people on these diets who happen to be overweight or obese. In fact, when it comes to vegan foods, many highly processed animal-based protein alternatives happen to have as many calories or even more than the real thing. Whether that's highly processed, vegan meat or, vegan cheese or any other type of vegan food that you can think about can be as high in calories as the real thing or even have more calories. So when it comes to eating plant-based foods, it is better to stick to whole foods as much as you can. And also ensure that you remain in a calorie deficit because, again, eating whole foods does not mean that you will lose weight. Again, it always comes back to the calories in versus calories out. So can you lose weight while you're on a plant-based diet? Based on studies that have been done, conducted over very, very many years, the answer is yes. When it comes to protein, it is not about the source. It is about your total protein intake and the sustainability of your choices. So if you have been nervous to try eating more plants or, going for meatless Mondays because you're afraid of losing muscle or gaining weight, let this be your sign to go for it. And I just beat myself. Go for it. Your muscles will not disappear. And your gut health will probably thank you in the long term because, as we know, gut health comes down to diversity. And the only way that you increase your diversity is by eating a wide range of foods. They say it's up to 30 different types of plants per week. But even if you're not aiming for that right now when it comes to weight loss, yes, improving your gut health has actually been proven to increase your chances of losing weight. Now that said, what is one plant-based food that you actually enjoy, or one that you're skeptical about? In my case, I love lentils. I actually love so many plant-based foods, but I'll go with lentils. Let me know yours. Let's chat in the comments. Drop a like if this video cleared this up for you. And don't forget to subscribe for more myth busting. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.